How do
We
you
are
feel?
live.
How do you feel? How are you feeling?
About what?
Just life in general.
Life? Decent. Easier when you have winning sports teams.
Mostly winning sports teams. We're not going to get into it.
What?
Mostly winning, I'll say.
Mostly winning. You're talking about Man United losing by many goals this morning.
Yeah. I won't completely blame.
Oh, you have the shirt on too. Wow.
I didn't even realize it.
There's no shame in this household.
Didn't realize it. Regret it now. But
Hey, at least you're not a Liverpool fan.
could be worse.
Could be worse.
Slightly.
Could be
worse.
7 goals.
Who would have thought this morning that you would see 13 goals scored against Man United and Liverpool?
Not me. But that's not why we're here.
That's not why
regardless.
we're here. I'm just happy. I mean, I didn't even get to watch the Steelers today.
Yeah.
It's been a weird one.
It's been a weird week of sports.
But
And the Pats. Didn't get to watch the Pats today.
NYCFC wins.
They
Hartford
do.
wins.
They do.
Absolute ripper. Who's that? McGlynn?
McGlynn, yeah.
Banger.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to talk about Hartford first? Because it's fresh.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way. So we just finished watching the Hartford game probably within like the hour. We got the win against the Red Bulls, which...
2.
What?
2.
Red Bulls 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Either
the
way,
Unders, the youngers.
whether it's the big guys or the small guys, they're all
youths.
trash, so it doesn't matter.
They're, dude, genuinely bad.
Yeah.
And we played well, but I feel like to beat better teams, we definitely have to be way more clinical. Like, we created a lot of chances. It looked like an NYCFC game because we created so many chances and just could not finish. So I would like us to be more lethal in front of goal, especially when we're facing bigger teams, because it's not going to cut it. But great win.
Yeah,
It
I
was
was gonna
really
say
cool to see the coach go and celebrate that goal.
Yeah, it's good to see that we can get a a result when it's like a do or die situation. Like, not that we would have still been in the playoffs, but that was a must-win game. Like,
Yeah.
it really was a must-win.
Well, because I guess my hopes with us losing that game goes down a lot, because going, away at Louisville would have been really, really tough.
Right.
It wouldn't have been easy. So we got the easier road, but I'm just happy to get the points, really.
Yeah, well, it'll
Just get the win.
be important in this upcoming home playoff game to like really get the ball rolling. Hopefully beat Louisville convincingly, and know that we're here for a reason. But I don't know. I don't have too much to really say about the game.
I want to be able to go to that game. I hope we get in somehow. Or were we informed that
I have to inform you that I don't think we're gonna be able to go.
Why? Did you get emails back?
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's because I'm gonna have to be at a wedding on Saturday, and I think that's when they're playing. So that's slow.
Wait, so you're gonna be gone that day
Yeah.
on a Sunday?
No, Saturday.
Oh, that's better.
Well,
That's fine.
I'm gonna be gone from like Thursday to undisclosed when I come back. So.
Well, you men are gonna find me somewhere in this house.
But yeah, about that game, about this whole run of us, securing this first seed, between the Barrera scorpion kick goal in practically extra time, against, it seemed like we were done. Like that would have been us, being the second seed, to us, finishing it in the second half of this game. It's been a crazy run, really.
Yeah, I hope it ends that way too. Like this Cinderella story that's being painted right now. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, and there were so many different, points where people stepped up and did their job, between Barrera getting this miracle goal, or Mandanda was out for the game, so Novotny comes in. He does give up 2 goals, but he saves a pen, which keeps us alive, that, allows Barrera to have, or somebody to have like a spark of, a miracle and push us through. So we just got to roll with the punches, roll with the wins, and do this thing now that we're at the show.
Kind of starting to transition into NYCFC. Justin Hack has been a silent killer
Yeah.
He's just been controlling that midfield and not letting any nonsense happen. He's been such a rock, and it's proven to be such a good piece of business for both NYCFC and Hartford, because NYCFC knew that Ronnie was not going to be able to guarantee him time.
Right.
Our midfield's way too deep, and so it made sense for us to drop him off at Hartford. He's just been killing it ever since.
Yeah, especially in these big games, like seeing him actually, being able to continue what he's been doing in the regular season. In these important games, it's cool to see him, stepping up to the challenge and really doing it.
He's showing that he doesn't even want to come off the field. He was waving off Rodgers. It looked like he was waving off Rodgers, because that seems like the
typically that's the sub.
Made sense.
Yeah.
But he's putting his hand out saying, no, I don't want to come off.
Right. That's all you could hope to see out of him, honestly.
Especially a young player like that.
Yeah.
Just saying, hey, I don't want to come off. Not quite to the levels of Kepa. I'm sure if he really wanted Hack to come off, Hack would have came off. But it is what it is.
Yeah, he's got that passion in him. So.
Yeah.
But we could probably move on to NYCFC. So we've got the Inter Miami game to talk about. So last week was the week of me being correct, and now about Mitrita. Now it's your turn to get a little bit of this praise, because
before we talk about that, I want to say that I love when a player proves me wrong on NYCFC, because whenever I go at somebody's playing, their form, it's always in an attempt to get them to prove me wrong.
Right.
So
I'm not saying me being right at the expense of you being wrong.
I just wanted to address this, because
nobody thinks you're wrong.
I've been going at players like Keaton Parks, and he pops up with a goal.
Yeah.
And then I go at Mitrita pretty hard for quite some episodes.
For a number of episodes.
And then he pops up and he's in the best form ever. I'm not saying, that sounded awful. I'm not saying that I'm responsible. I'm not saying that they're in the locker room crying and listening to me talk about them. I'm just saying it's possible that they heard me chirp them, and now they're in good form.
And they stepped up because of it.
It's possible.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's your time to shine this week.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You interrupted me from giving you the praise that you deserve. Okay. So last week, this one was sort of a gimme. You said, we're probably going to see Ibiaga come in and replace Callens for yellow card accumulation. Sort of a gimme. I mean, honestly, that was kind of an easy one. But you did say, one of the key matchups to watch in this game was going to be, with Collins out, obviously our defense gets weaker. Or that would be the assumption. Ibiaga ended up, doing his part, but that would be the assumption. So you kind of highlighted, the important thing to look at would be Sands and, how he may perform in this matchup, especially with somebody like Gonzalo, who's, a big body dude.
Loves to throw that thing around.
Yeah, and that's what he does. And, genuinely what we saw that game was Sands kind of getting thrown around by Higuain.
You
called it.
I've been trying to tell you, every part of Sands' game is pretty good right now. He's got a lot of developing to do, but he's got to hit the weight room. Mm-hmm. That's the part of his game that he gets shrugged off the ball fairly easily.
Yeah, and this has been something that you've been preaching for
a while.
I mean, if we started 2 months ago, you've been preaching it for 2 months.
And you said I was wrong. And I do appreciate when I'm right.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah, you sound a lot like I sounded 7 days ago. It's good to be right, because it
feels good to be great.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a situation where it's not great to be right, because we obviously want Sands to be that physical presence, especially if he's going to be heading our defensive midfield. So
in the same way that I offered help in learning how to score goals, I'll show him around the weight room.
I'll show him
around the weight room.
Yeah.
Or how to put some pounds on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You could show him how to put some weight on.
Yeah.
But, jokes aside, that game was a chippy one, man. That one, and I think I saw after the game, and I actually really liked this quote from Ronnie. And I don't know, he's been saying things that's have me coming around lately, but he was like, you can't always go out against every team and outplay them. Sometimes you just have to dig a win out. And like that was exactly what we did.
Fair.
Like we at the end though, we almost did, we got a good offsides call, but still, it was a small margin, so there's still, it was almost a tie, but we did dig a win out.
Didn't that game feel more like a rivalry matchup than playing against Orlando?
Yeah.
Way more. That thing was chippy. It had a good atmosphere. The play was fairly quick.
Well, I'll tell you, if we have over the rest of this year and next season, if our next 4 or 5 games against Inter are just like that game, that's quickly going to become an actual rivalry.
Yeah, more than the Red Bulls.
Yeah,
because I don't know, that one initially seemed kind of forced. Especially, I mean, like, yes, we're historically on the losing side of that, but I think as a club and everything like that, I think we're far ahead of them already. We just have to get silverware.
Yeah, it's just, that was sort of, forced because of the locality, just us playing close to each other. And the MLS loves, to have that rivalry week where everybody plays that club that's like an hour from them. So, I mean, no doubt we do hate them.
Yeah, like, I wish the worst things on them.
Yeah,
constantly.
The hate's there. Don't worry, the hate is there. Yeah, permanently. But
like,
they got to start, in recent times, start putting up a fight.
They they just have to be in New York, really, to make it a New York derby. Like
it takes it away that they play in New Jersey, like, but they're marketed as New York. It's just a whole weird thing.
How do you hop on a bus to New Jersey and feel hype about a New York derby?
Yeah, it's like
weird.
Well, when you think about like the Yankees and the Mets, like, I mean, it's a car ride, and it's not very far, as opposed to it's a different state. It's a whole different state.
Yeah.
So,
I'm granted it's across the river. But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I just think with the Inter game, it was just important to get that win.
Yeah, and it's really important that Mitrita can find form.
Yeah,
because we were saying that last week, where it's like, this dude gets going, he could easily be an MVP level player.
Yeah,
he just has to actually put the effort in and look like he cares.
I mean, if 75% of the games that we play this season look like the last 2 games, then that's an MVP candidate.
Yeah, no,
on
literally.
The field, like it is.
It's that spark of being put into an uncomfortable position where he can't fall into those bad habits that he's built up over his whole career,
right?
Of not getting back on defense and stuff like that. It's like you're put in a new spot. You're basically being told, prove that you belong in this lineup. And he's done it so far. I
don't know. It's almost scared now to bring Maxi back into this and displace. You displace. If Mitrita, let's say Maxi's out for another 2 to 3 weeks. Let's say all those games over the course of that time look exactly like the last 2. I mean, what do you can't just displace Mitrita.
You know what I'm afraid of?
What?
Because Ronnie's Ronnie. Ronnie will put Maxi back at 10 and put Mitrita at striker and drop Tati. That's exactly what will happen.
Yeah.
Write it down. I said this October 4th at 10:15 p.m.
I was just going to bring up Tati because there's this dude that always comments on our stuff, actually, this guy, Alex Schaefer, and he really loves Tati too. And I think we've gone back and forth with him in the comments. But I think one of the last things that I said to him was it's going to be important for Tati, hopefully in the next game. And we've been saying this maybe for a game or 2 now, but to get going, because I think once he scores that first goal, I think they'll start flowing. But it's getting over that hump of that first goal to be like, all right, I can do this. It'll just be important for him to
I don't
know
if you saw, but there was a few moments where I felt like New York players just had blinders to Tati. Like, Tati was wide open. Gary Mackay missed him. I think Ring missed him a few times, wide open. You play it across the goal. He's like Tati scoring.
Yeah, was it Mackay that one play? Remember?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And his frustration with not scoring is at an all-time high. So him scoring will just relieve so much pressure off of him.
Right. Well, it's tough. Like all the chances that he does get to take a shot are the most difficult shots.
Yeah.
And it's like if Gary just plays that one ball to him,
It's
the
a
net.
tap-in.
Yeah, it's a legit tap in, no goalie.
Yeah.
Like it's him in the goal. So he's gonna finish it. It's just the situations that he's getting in, they're just tough finishes. So.
Well, yeah, and he's doing a thing where he did it a couple times, and he falls into this habit every once in a while when he really wants a goal, is when he just like turns and shoots without really knowing where he is in front of the goal.
That'll probably come with playing more, and hopefully, Ronnie can speak to him or the team can speak to him and let him know, you don't always need the goal immediately. You can explore passes or try to create a little bit of space, instead of taking that first touch because you're so anxious to net one.
Yeah, I think he's, if you look back at the games too, he's creating goals with his movement, if you think about it, because he's pulling defenders off so Mitrita can fill space and ultimately make things happen. So, like, I'm not concerned with his form or anything like that. I think he's playing as hard as he can. He's probably one of the hardest working players on the team still to this day. He's just got to get one.
Yeah. And he creates space too because he's one of the more pacey players on our team.
Yeah.
We don't have too much pace on our team. Between, I would say probably Mackay and Tati are up there with the
Shradi?
paciest. Shradi too, but he's been out of the lineup, so it's.
He came back. Yeah, he looked off the pace a little bit though.
Yeah.
We have DC next.
DC.
That's gonna be rough.
Well,
Not because it's a hard game, but just because it's going to be a draw.
it's just such an easy game.
I know, but it's
like-
going to be a draw, though,
Yeah, that's the problem, is that it's too easy of a game. And I feel like we almost do the thing where we play to our competition,
Yeah.
which is the worst thing that you can do as a team.
Especially against DC. Mm-hmm. It seems like
Well,
DC
who's the worst team in the league?
pulls the worst out of us. And it's just like, ever since Rooney left there, they've been a dumpster fire.
And even DC, I'll say this, feels like a little bit more of a rivalry. Ugh, I'm having the worst time talking tonight.
Talking is hard when you're
a little
tired.
bit more of a rival than the Red Bulls are,
Yeah.
or even Orlando. And
There's just,
part of that is because they have some of our old players in their lineup, and
yeah.
we always have good matchups against them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Not really.
what do you
Like,
mean? Aside
it's not
from this,
fun to watch a DC game.
no, but I mean,
versus New
last
York.
season they were a good team. Like,
yeah,
they would
when
give
we
us
saw
trouble.
them at the home opener, like that was actually a good game.
Yeah, they were trouble last season.
But that's because of the players that they had. I don't think they
Right.
really have that spark anymore, and I don't think that they really go out there every single game trying to win. Like they're trying to just
absolutely
get
not.
the bare minimum result
Well,
to
when
get
they,
through it.
when they played us, they didn't even have a shot. Like
No,
it was so
it's
painfully,
disturbing.
like we need to tie them because there's no chance that
What
we
day is
win.
that?
It's just the most lack of like self belief. They do not think that they can perform. So
Wednesday.
on Wednesday,
I pray I can watch this at work because it's gonna be one of those snooze fests, and I'll close on that.
well, I'll say it was good to get a result against Inter Miami. That's a tough team at the end of the day. Between Higuain and I guess Morgan is a savage somehow. Just literally,
He was popping off though in
Yeah.
the MLS back tournament.
Yeah,
like
so-
we saw shades of this happening.
right,
Just the total team couldn't really put it together.
right.
Plus, they have Higuain, Matuidi, Pizarro, and Morgan.
Well, yeah, I
like
was gonna
they've got
say,
some guys.
Morgan was doing that before you added Matuidi and
and they've got
Higuain.
Ben Sweat.
Yeah, he's real good.
Sweat.
He actually costed them like one of our goals single-handedly.
Fair.
And one person we didn't even talk about, and we might as well just talk about him, but Tinnerholm. There's not much to be said. Like
He's the best on our team.
he's the best player on our team,
Yeah.
and that's crazy
It's
to be
not
a right
close.
back and
It
be
is
the best
not
player.
close. Do you remember? Oh man, I think it was like one of our first or second episodes ever. We talked about how we might possibly be leaning on Tennerholm like Liverpool lean on Trent,
On Alex, yeah.
and it's like so far
It's happened.
That's kind of panned
I mean,
out.
he's our top scorer.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, unless Mitrita might have tied it up with him, but I know going into the Inter game, he was our top scorer. So,
which is insane that we're leaning on it like that.
I don't think any team wants their right back to be their top scorer.
Nope.
No one in the world.
We have our best striker injured.
Yep.
Didn't really ever plan for us to not have our striker starting because we really have no other strikers.
Zero.
Just wingers.
Yeah.
And defensive midfielders.
Yeah.
But
just Tati really is all we have
Ronnie's
left.
proving we can win that way, so whatever. Outside of that, do you have anything left?
That's probably just about it.
That'll do her.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
You want to close it up?
Yeah. Post 90 podcast on all socials.
Everywhere.
Our audio only sounds crispier than ever.
It does, actually.
Specifically, my voice, I'm probably going to take a radio job soon.
Okay.
So this is going to maybe take the back seat. But Post 90
Or we could get this on the radio.
That's true.
That
we could do
would
it
be dope.
every week. Anyways, we're going off on tangents because we are tired. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.